Ooga fucking ooga cunts. Welcome to Musical Literacy with myself, Full Metal Pickle, Trippy Poop, and Schmeckle, the Niggerilla.
Yeah, that was almost as good as a Samaj intro.
You gotta start hearing
Yeah, you're
snoring.
getting there, Pickle.
Welcome
So
to the
we got no
thing.
fucking Ace tonight, and I think he was supposed to be our fucking expert on the 1970s. But Trippy and Pickle are both old as shit, so maybe they know something.
Maybe.
There's a thing. There's 1970. The Beatles broke up. You talk. No.
The Beatles broke up. That brings up a very interesting part of the 1970s. Somebody was murdered.
Nope. Because that happened in the 80s.
And look at this
Oh,
motherfucker
wait,
right here
really?
showing up late.
Who showed up late? Was it Ace?
Yeah, Ace is finally here. He showed up.
Welcome back to the world of the internet.
Well, like I've been telling people all week, I'm on vacation with my kids and my family and shit. So yeah, like you're lucky I'm popping in now. Like I've been trying to make sure like everybody knows like I might be there, I might not, but like I'll definitely stop in a few times and like I'll be switching between my computer and my actual phone. So yeah, but anyways, the 1970s, right?
Yeah, I just said that the Beatles broke up, and then Schmeckle thought that John Lennon died in the 70s, and it was the 80s.
That's why Dad cleared it off.
Oh no, it's all good.
Okay. I'll get out of your way.
Hi, Ace wife.
What the fuck I'm doing here?
No, that's
Ace's
my,
wife. You sound as
mother-in-law.
attractive as Ace's mother-in-law. You sound attractive as Ace's wife.
and this is why I wear headphones.
Yep.
Yell it louder.
Ace's mother-in-law. You're very attractive. Sounding. That work.
It did nothing.
Headphones.
A little bit, but all right.
Just a tad.
Yeah.
All right, so the fucking 1970s. Where do we start there?
Broke up. Apparently, in September of '69, John Lennon told the Beatles he was leaving them, to go be with, oh no, and do his own private career or solo career. But it was announced in 1970, April, actually. So yeah, one of the biggest bands of the '60s just decided that they didn't want to do it anymore. Basically, I mean, once you lose Lennon, it's kind of one of the big players.
Yeah, at some point you gotta take a fucking hint, and when you're losing the guy that everybody loves, maybe it's time to give up, right?
Yeah. Where can we go from there? Oh yeah, and in the '70s, Elvis started making really shitty movies.
Oh
Elvis.
yes, that was when shit like what was it called, Blue Lagoon?
Yeah.
When those types of movies started coming out, that wasn't a good time for Elvis. I mean, it definitely wasn't the worst time for Elvis, but it was not a good one.
Right? Yeah, because he did like Jailhouse Rock and stuff in the '50s. But yeah, around the '70s, I think, is when he really started getting into acting. And he had like zero skills when it came to acting. Kind of like how Marilyn Monroe had zero skills when it came to singing.
And to be fair, did Marilyn Monroe really have a whole lot of skills beyond being attractive for the time?
No.
I don't think so.
I wouldn't say she was much of an actress either.
Right. Well, I don't know. I've actually never watched one of her movies. She died in the '60s. Why didn't we cover this last week? Anyway, but it didn't matter because she wasn't really big into music. Either way.
Right.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Did Easy Rider come out in the '70s or the '60s?
Man, you did not come
This is
prepared
pretty
for this trivia.
He never comes prepared.
I was at the doctor all damn day. from like 9 a.m.
Man, then there should have been a bunch of magazines from like 30, 40 years ago. You should have been reading up on this shit.
Easy Rider came out.
No, actually, it was. Yeah, well, I was close. See, even at half brain, I still think words.
Anyway, we got. You guys can't be a whole lot older than the 70s, right? Like, at least some of you were mid 80s, right?
I was right at 80.
Okay, yeah. So this must have been the fucking music you guys grew up with.
Yeah, yeah. Led Zeppelin, Black Sabbath, Pink Floyd.
Oh,
now, we do have a very good point from Moxley. It's close to the end of the 70s, so I guess we should build up to there. But metal largely began in the late 70s.
Yeah,
it did.
Well, early 70s if you consider Black Sabbath.
True, but there's one huge band that we could mention that everybody knows a song from. That'd be Hotel California, because the Eagles started their band, or at least all got together in 1971.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Google. And they had shit like that one song, and then that other song.
They had a lot of songs. Yes,
there was another song, and people liked it. But
I'm really beginning to think Trippy is high.
I'm not high.
Yes, Trippy finally figured out that marijuana, though it may taste sweet, will not fuck with his diabetes.
Shit. Why do I'm just blanking on all of this stuff. I know Kiss stuff, so around 77, I can't. Good night, guys.
Terrible, Trippy. I figured you would know about this time.
He does, but most of his knowledge is of Kiss.
All right, so let's start with something easy. There is something that is very, very heavily known as being large and popular in the 70s. A certain genre.
Certain genre that is highly despised.
Disco.
Yes, a certain genre that nobody fucking likes, and we're all glad that it's dead.
Well, I don't think it was till 1979 that they did the big disco record burning at that one baseball field. But I was telling Pickle earlier that I got to hear the audio from that day when they burnt the giant pile of disco records when I went to the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. There was a lot of screaming, and this one dude going, "Disco's dead, disco's dead," and yeah, they had a big ass bonfire of disco records and memorabilia. All right,
well, Trippy, you're the one who's heavily into Kiss. So, is it true that Kiss did a disco song?
They did a disco record called Kiss Dynasty.
Mm-hmm.
That's slightly gross.
Yeah,
it's more than slightly gross.
It was them like really trying to stay relevant, and it was thanks Google, May 23rd, 1979. Yeah, and you know who was actually largely responsible for the songs on that record?
Gene Simmons.
Gene Simmons himself. Matter of fact, if you go back and you were to listen to Gene Simmons' solo record, which they all four members did solo records in like 78, I think. His record had a lot of very disco-esque type music on it. You got more rock, I think, out of the drummer, which was most famous for singing that song, Beth, than he did out of any of them.
Yep.
I think Pete and Ace. So it was like the two lesser known people in the band were actually responsible for the better songs. Because like, I mean, I guess you could consider it kind of disco like, but Ace Frehley, he did a cover of that song Back in the New York Groove on his solo record.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have the other three. I don't even think I have his. But you could definitely tell that Gene Simmons was into the whole disco shit. I think Paul Stanley, he was more into jazz and like an R&B almost style, I think, on his. But
I can tell you for a
Yeah.
fact, Gene Simmons is into whatever makes Gene Simmons money. So
Exactly.
guaranteed, while disco was big, Gene Simmons was sucking the big disco dick.
oh yeah, dude, you know it. That's just how it rolls with Gene Simmons and his Jewish ass.
Motherfucker is all about fucking money. This is something
Yes.
that came up many years later, and we'll talk about it in detail on a different show. We'll have to.
Mhm.
But I mean, him and Lars Ulrich from
Yep.
Metallica
Mm-hmm.
are very, very big on going after people who download their music or
Yep.
use their music in anything. And I mean, if somebody uses your shit without crediting it, sure. But I mean, they were the fucking big anti-Napster proponents and shit like that.
Well, yeah. The thing is a lot of Metallica's early music was promoted and played for people by tape swapping. You know, I remember tape swapping back in the day myself, where you take a tape and you copy a copy of it.
No, I mean, even me, like I'm a hell of a lot younger than you guys, but there was a period that I was alive before.
5 years.
Man,
5 fucking years.
that still makes a hell of a difference, Trippy.
Oh yeah, well at least I played regular Nintendo when it was new.
Shut the fuck up. Don't you ever bring that up. There are things that are too low, Trippy.
And I owned a Commodore 64 at some point.
Yeah, that's
That-
not a good thing.
No,
And a ColecoVision.
also not a good thing.
But no, I mean, you guys are a hell of a lot older than I am. But there
Oh,
was
goddamn
a
it.
short period of time where where I was alive and smart enough to use the internet, and downloading music was not really a thing. And that's what we used to do. We trade fucking CDs. We'd pop them into our fucking disc burners, and there you go, right?
Yeah.
Right.
I still got the fucking no, I had a fucking it looked like a fucking computer tower.
Uh-huh.
You'd stick a disc in the top, and then there were 5 other slots below it, and it would make up to 5 copies of that fucking CD.
Oh, okay. What
That-
about have you ever seen an
damn.
8-track in real life, Schmeckel?
I have seen
ever
an 8-track.
seen
I
one?
have never listened to one by choice.
I have.
Well, see, we probably should bring up Elton John because I know he was big in the 70s. And,
Oh shit!
hey, Ray,
Shit, I'm
you
so
can help.
sorry. Pardon about that. Sorry about that.
that was
Well,
like a
that's
sound
one
sample
hell
right
of
there.
a way to fucking make an entrance.
Yeah, my apologies, guys.
That's all good.
You're good.
All right. So we're talking the 70s. What have y'all covered?
Nothing.
Very fucking little. We were just about to talk about Elton John.
Okay.
Well, see, It's
Well,
kinda
I was
weird.
gonna
There's
also bring up Queen.
okay.
I mean, if you're going to talk about
Freddie
you have to
Mercury.
talk about,
all right.
yeah.
Well, all right.
Oh shit, we're talking about the 70s. We don't have to talk about AIDS, do we?
yeah.
No. AIDS ain't until the 80s.
Okay, we got another week till we have to talk about AIDS.
Here's the deal, though. I mean, if you want to talk about the 70s, you got to understand that several genres of rock and roll emerged from the 70s,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Mhm.
Art rock, okay, was big. Let's see. You're talking Elton John. So he's pop. He was more of a pop
Mhm.
artist, right?
Mhm.
Let's see, Queen. They're just hard rock, operatic. That thing was kind of falls into the art rock thing. All right, so you got disco was
oh yeah.
was part of it.
Gross. Disco
Well,
was just gross.
actually, there were some good for at some point in time, it was a requirement that even if you were in a rock band, you had a congressional obligation to cut a disco song track for a certain album, and I think that was around 77 or 78. But all right, so you got art rock, you've got the disco, you've also got proto punk, which is shit like Iggy and the Stooges, New York Dolls, glam. New York Dolls,
fucking glam rock scene.
Yeah, glam kind of is bridged into that. They kind of meet each other with the New York Dolls and fucking Sweet. Ballroom Blitz, they did that.
Sweet put out way better shit than Ballroom Blitz.
Oh yeah,
no shit. Yeah, of course. Sweet was their hits were like their weaker stuff.
What else?
But we had a couple bands back then that were they kind of led up to my favorite genre of music, hair metal.
All right. You're talking metal, okay? Which started really.
We started more mellow. We got Slade, Sweet, Fox on the Run. Who was that?
Yeah, Fox on the Run.
The Runaways.
Yeah, the Runaways.
No,
that's right.
not the Runaways.
That's not right.
Runaways were 76, 77.
Dude, Fox on the Run was Thin Lizzy, wasn't it?
No, that's also wrong.
Sweet. That was Sweet.
It was Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah, Fox on the Run.
This is my area of expertise. All right. So what are we talking about? You're bridging. All right, we're going up to proto punk and then into punk to lead up into the 80s. Are you looking for that?
No, we're just trying to stick within the 70s.
Yeah, we'll hit the 80s next week. But
what I'm saying is, are you starting out with the road to like what leads up to the 80s? Okay, because 73 and 74 is when Bowie, all right, who was glam. He was the precursor to the 80s.
Really, other than disco, most of the 70s was a lead up to what the 80s got.
Of course.
The only thing that really got dropped was disco.
Right. Well, actually, disco came back as like with the Red Hot Chili Peppers and bands like that.
Disco did not come back. People started using a couple disco sounds for the whole nostalgia thing.
They used funk licks and incorporated that back. Right. You got reggae, man, was big in the 70s. Okay, that's when all that shit started. People want to say that reggae was the 80s. It's not. It was in the 70s, man. So it's like it's ADHD. If you got ADHD, man, the 70s era of rock is for you. Because I mean, for every feeling you got, there's a band that is perfect for you.
Well, that's what happens when everybody's on all the many drugs that were freely available in the 70s. You get you get this whole fuking spectrum of emotion, because that's how you get when you're on some of these drugs. You just get emotional.
Yep.
It don't matter what emotion it is. You hit one of them hard.
Yeah.
And the thing about it too that we also got to bring up, talk about the 60s going to the 70s is this psychedelic rock and the emergence of bands like Pink Floyd and like all those fucking really like take some acid, fucking chill out type bands.
Yeah, well, Floyd was real interesting because what they did, the Syd Barrett era, which was basically what they were they were a British invasion band when they started out, right? And then the thing happened with Syd Barrett, and they got Syd's guitar teacher, David Gilmour, to join them, right? And then they went through this experimental phase where they were getting into doing all these weird kind of experimental things that they would go off into these individual excursions, and they would get amorphic and shit with the music. And then they got to a point of where they could do that and then come back together, seamlessly. Right. And then that's when Dark Side of the Moon, Echoes, really the album before that, Metal, is the album that Pink Floyd infused everything that they were into one thing, right? And then they cut Dark Side with Alan Parsons as the engineer, and that changed everything, right? Because see, at this point, multi-track recording became an industry standard, right?
It went from being something that was
novelty,
rare, something, and not even novelty, something that made a band really stand out.
Yeah,
to just the
Beatles,
something everybody did.
Yep.
Beatles, and they were engineered. The Beatles were engineered by Parsons too. Well, two of their albums. I want to say Abbey Road and something else, but that was the influence of Alan Parsons as you see it in Dark Side of the Moon, and I want to say he did Wish You Were Here too. And then after that, I think they worked with Bob Ezrin, who had done Alice Cooper. See that? Oh, dude, you talk about influential music. Cooper had a huge, influence.
Alice Cooper, I think, didn't he work with Bob Rock, not Bob Ezrin?
Bob Ezrin. I don't. Let me look. But yeah,
I might be getting people.
Billion Dollar Baby is the first hard rock album I ever owned. I swear to God.
Bob Rock needs to be taken out and shot.
No, I'm sorry, Bob Rock. He's a shitty guy.
Yeah,
but
he's responsible for what happened to Metallica.
He's responsible for what happened to Motley Crue. He's responsible for a lot of what happened to Kid Rock. Bob Rock is a shitty guy. Bob Rock is, if we're being honest, a lot like me. He's out for Bob Rock. He's out to help himself.
It's Ezrin.
Okay, it was
Ezrin. All right, Ezrin did Get Your Wings, Aerosmith, right? And then he did Alice Cooper, Love It to Death, Killer, School's Out, and then Billion Dollar Babies, Welcome to My Nightmare. Actually, it's called Alice Goes to Hell, but it's Alice Cooper Goes to Hell. Lace and Whiskey. God, I remember all these albums. The Alice Cooper Show. So it went all the way down till the 2017. So they kept coming back to him. But yeah, Ezrin was a big part of that. I wonder if he did. I mean, because he's had Billion Dollar Babies is probably one of those 10 that you want on Desert Island with you. Because I can listen to that album and just keep listening to it. Let's see. Yeah, he did some Rod Stewart. Faces was a good band with Stewart. Then they came out of the 60s into the 70s. But I'm a huge art rock fan, especially Emerson, Lake and Palmer. I think that they're one of the greatest bands that ever lived because they successfully fused jazz, rock, and classical together. And that was primarily Keith Emerson that was doing that.
I wouldn't say really mixing jazz and rock is too hard. I wouldn't say mixing jazz and classical is too hard. Rock or classical.
You're right. Now that I'm thinking about it,
combination of the three doesn't seem that out of line.
Well, but you're right about that Richard Wright, the keyboardist for Pink Floyd, he started introducing like jazz and blues chords, not blues, jazz chords into Dark Side of the Moon. And there's a great movie when they were making the album, and then there's also a video when after like it was like 20 years ago, or not maybe not even maybe less years than that, where he's talking about doing Us or Them, and he made a decision to put it in a jazz minor progression instead of just a regular minor progression that he had written it in, and it changed the whole dynamic of the song. It's amazing how these guys were able to me though it's taken the classical and with what Keith Emerson could do, and it's like, I don't know, you need to listen to Tarkus. It's like every band from that era has got really one album that defines who the fuck they really are. And I think, that's one for them. Deep Purple, Deep Purple, that little snake goes up and splits off and becomes Rainbow, and White Snake, right?
I mean, Deep Purple, if we're gonna be honest, they had some really good tracks. They were kind of pussies about the whole metal thing.
It's Blackmore. He still couldn't commit. He couldn't commit to the whole metal part. Because
I remember. I'll be paraphrasing, obviously, but there was a quote, something like, "Don't fucking call us metal. We don't take pictures with blood dripping out our mouths or nothing like that. Well, we ain't metal. We're rock and roll."
Right, and actually, Blackmore saw success as how many if the song went 40 on a 45, right? If it became a pop like in the top 10, that's what he was obsessed with. And he was in an era where top 10 music was shit like, Elton John and Kiki D going, "Don't Go Breaking My Heart," or Captain and Tennille, the Carpenters, shitty, cranked out, just music, that's from the machine, right? Whereas the people that were taking the risks were the ones that were like Rainbow, man. When Ronnie James Dio joined Rainbow, that band became something because it elevated Dio, and he was able to do stuff with his vocals that had never been done, and he carried on that vocal style onto with Black Sabbath when he joined Sabbath, and that was in 1980.
Didn't they call him Leather Lips or Leather Lungs? One of the two.
That dude,
Leather Lungs Dio or something. It was a nickname.
Yeah, he was a smoker, and that dude he could sing perfectly. I mean, in his own harmonization, how he would do it. And what Blackmore loved about him is that he came ready to go. It was like, okay, what do you want me to sing and how do you want me to sing it? And Blackmore would say, "I want you to do this, this, and this." And then it got to a point where Dio was saying, "I want to do it like this because I think it's better," right? And they got in fights and shit. Blackmore was notorious for getting in fist fights with people, fucking roadies, and shit. So he had some issues there, and Dio fucking said fuck it and finally left him. With the Long Live Rock and Roll is a great album. That's another one of those, that defines, I think, that whole era. Rainbow Rising is good too. And
it was a band that I don't see people bringing it up right now would be George Clinton and the psychedelic
Funkadelic. Parliaments, man. Yeah.
Parliament Funkadelic. That's right.
Yeah.
I don't see Schmeckel bringing that band up. Yeah, that's right, Schmeckel. I called you out.
Say that again. There was noise in the background. I got distracted by that.
Parliament Funkadelic, bro.
Bow wow.
Never heard of it.
What?
Motherfucker.
You don't know who George Clinton is?
I know who George Clinton is. I've never heard of.
Goddamn. Get off your ass and jam, man. Flashlight, man. That's some great shit. That's some good funk, and that's.
Oh, yeah.
I was never big into the whole funk thing.
Yeah.
Get the funk up and dance, Schmeckel. Get the funk up. Yeah.
No, funk.
It's an acquired taste. No, I get it. No, I wasn't into it when it first came out, man. It took me 10 or 15 years to realize, what they were trying to do with some of that stuff, especially, man, Parliament. They had a great attitude. They were funny. The Electric Spanking of War Babies, Dr. Funkenstein, the clones of Dr. Funkenstein. Just, man, put on any of those albums.
I'll be right back. People outside heard me talking about them and offered me drugs. So I'm going to go take some of those drugs and then I'll be right back.
Enjoy. But what were they? I forgot where I was going with that. So I'll shut up.
Just the the funkadelic thing. Also, bands like Sly and the Family Stone, that they were big in the 70s.
Even Stevie Wonder, dude.
Earth, Wind, and Fire, Stevie
Earth,
Wonder,
Wind, and Fire, yeah.
Yep. Santana, I think, had a few hits of the 70s as well. Even though he came from the late 60s.
Steely
right?
Dan, man.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that was some great shit too. Man.
Oh, yeah.
The 70s was ripe with amazing fucking music.
It was, man.
It was from the 60s.
I know one song that sticks out to me that comes from 72 is Pusher Man by Curtis Mayfield.
Yeah, dude.
Mm-hmm.
Pusher Man.
Oh, yeah. God damn the Pusher Man. It's a great song, man.
Ace brought that up last week, and I listened to it like 3 or 4 times after we got done streaming, and I was like, I forgot about this song somehow.
Fuck yeah! There's so much good shit that came out then, man.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it was so rich there was so much creativity going into it, and people, in the late 70s, they were going, in retrospect, they're going, what did we get out of this? And all people were saying was disco and shit. And they forgot about all these other, great, it blows my mind because that at that point, you could buy these things called cutout albums. Mm-hmm. And every certain number of albums, if there's a slight imperfection, they would, I don't know, I guess they would use some kind of saw or something, and they would cut a part of the album cover to where it had like a little nick out of it, right? And that imperfection made it to where it would be sold for like $2, right? And and I went through my whole psychedelic phase listening to the shit from that. There's some of those songs, the 13th Floor Elevators, man, with Roky Erickson. Shit. Who was talking psychedelic shit last week?
I believe that was Ace.
Yeah, Ace,
because a lot of that carried over into the 70s. Like I see ELP as an important band because they literally came out in 1970, like the February, like right after the year changed. So they kind of mark, the beginning of all that shit. And Genesis. Fucking King Crimson, the later King Crimson is fucking insane shit. Robert Fripp, the guitar on David Bowie's Ashes to Ashes album. What is that? Scary Monsters. That's all Robert Fripp on that guitar work, and he invented his own like tape loop devices and shit. Everything pretty much that he put his guitar through, he invented himself. Nice. Like the guy in Boston. See, that's another band. They were like pop rock.
Well, they're what's known as arena rock.
Yeah, I would say that. We snobbed them though back in the day. Bands like Rush got the real respect because I mean, they would every fucking penny they got, like from 2112 up through, I would say, Moving Pictures, they put back into their show, right? So you see it one year, and then the next year they'd have a bigger sound system and they tweaked the light show a little bit, and it was then the next year the light show was just fucking incredible, and then they started showing movies projected behind them and stuff, and they always played this smaller auditorium where I live. And $8.99 a ticket, $8.50 a ticket. I mean, can you imagine paying $8.50 to see Rush?
No.
Who's like Letter Fucking Perfect 5 years in a row. Judas Priest, Sawdown Man. See, and they're part of that hair metal germination, right? Because they were all those guys will tell you they're all like influenced by Deep Purple. Deep Purple had a huge influence on where metal came from and went because of the song Hush. That was famous. Na 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 na. Yeah.
Hush, hush. Thought I heard you call my name. Now
Exactly.
hush.
That's it. And that dude's voice was like, "Ah!" He could really wail. So they were a huge influence on all that metal that came later. Even AC/DC, I would say. They were like Slade. There was much influence by Slade as they were, Deep Purple.
Mm-hmm.
Cheap Trick. They were a big Beatles influenced band, which not a lot of people understand. They're a great
Supertramp.
Oh man, Supertramp was an acquired taste for me too.
Mhm.
And it took a couple times. And my cousin turned me on a couple of their older albums, and even older Bee Gees shit, where they were like, basically Beatles clone bands. It was interesting. A lot of the country western stars like Conway Twitty, George Jones, that bunch, those were all Elvis clones when they started their careers in the 50s, right? And they didn't succeed, and then they ended up going into hardcore country, and that's where they found their success, which is with their roots.
And most everybody here knows Conway Twitty just from Family Guy.
Probably.
Oh, really?
Like 99% of people.
Is he a big Conway fan?
Family Guy, the show.
Yeah.
They just there was a little part in the show, a few episodes where they just kind of didn't have a jokes, so they played a Conway Twitty song.
Holy shit! Those were some good non-illegal drugs.
Good.
Offered by my definitely non-illegal neighbors.
You definitely need to pop on some Parliament Funkadelic and just sit back and trip balls. Go ahead. Just don't play it in the stream because we'll get shut down.
That's what sucks. Go ahead.
I was going to say one of my favorites from the 70s would be that dude who named his kids all the weird shit, Frank Zappa.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. No shit.
Yeah. Dweezil on that. Moon Unit.
Moon Unit Zappa. I just love that one. That's
all the little.
At some point, it's got a border on fucking child abuse.
All the little guitar solo, the air guitar solo.
What if I name my next kid just Cunt Schmeckle, my last name?
Hitler.
Right.
But that's probably not okay, right?
Right.
It's probably fine.
And let's pick something that doesn't include a curse word. Fucking Trippy Schmeckle. That's not something you can name your kids.
No, but
if you name that, you are setting your kids up for a life full of pain. You're a bad.
But there are guys that are like, that are third in line. They call them Trey or Trip. You know what I'm saying? You got senior, junior, and then Trey or Trip. Depending on how snobby they are.
Situation. I know this is going back a little bit, but a boy named Sue.
A boy named Sue.
Yeah, I could understand you trying to make me tough or whatever, but I'm gonna beat the living shit out of you if I ever meet you.
I was going to say, do you know what Johnny Cash was doing during the 70s?
Heroin.
Yeah, a lot of cocaine and heroin. Yeah, he was doing a lot of drugs, man.
Man, I don't care how many drugs you're doing. Somebody looked at that fucking paper, said, "Oh, this is what he wants to name his fucking kid," and they signed off on that.
Yeah,
he's still going with the name.
Well, all right. We were talking about Frank Zappa until Schmeckle came in.
I was still talking about Frank Zappa. He did that shit.
Yeah, you were actually. What there was something Pickle was saying about a guitar solo.
Dweezil is the one who does all the air guitar solos in the Bill and Ted movies.
Oh my god, dude! Zappa's "Shut Up and Play Your Guitar" trilogy album. That's a must-have. It's just there's no words, man. It's just him jamming, and my god, that motherfucker can play a guitar. Jesus, he could shred. He could listen to any guitar lead. I guarantee you, he could listen to any guitar lead just cold off of an album and then be able to fucking reproduce it perfectly.
Mhm.
You know, he's just that much of a brilliant mind. You Are What You is my favorite album because it's all about, really it's about before free speech became an issue and before the mothers of prevention, Al Gore's wife and shit did the whole PMRC hearings. You know, and Zappa testified at those too. You should listen to him. He was very flip and it was awesome. He's one of my heroes. He's like George Carlin of music to me.
Oh yeah, because I mean, he had what was that one song where he said, "Don't eat yellow snow."
Don't Eat the Yellow Snow is what it's called.
Yeah, that's where the Huskies go. That's right.
One of my favorite ones is Bobby Brown. I love that song,
dude. Yeah, that's isn't that on Joe's Garage?
I think so.
Yeah.
I was dirtiest songs too.
Yeah, no, oh God, Keep It Greasy. The one where it's like, fuck me, you ugly son of a bitch. You ugly son of a bitch. Fuck me. Stick out your hard curly weenie. Weenie, 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 weenie. It's funny as shit.
Oh yeah.
And he does not fucking let up on anybody. He makes fun of black people. He makes fun of white people. He makes fun of Christians, Jews. I mean, it does not fucking matter, man. If there was a funny song to be made out of it, he's gonna do it.
Exactly.
And boy, God, don't we need people like him right now?
Yeah.
You know, and Carlin, you know, the masters of free speech.
Yeah, dude, all those kind of people nowadays are all on YouTube. It's all us.
Yeah.
it's up to us. Damn it. Let's start a revolution. Hashtag kick metal. Sorry.
I wonder if I could. You know what? I bet that Zappa's. If I kept it, if I didn't monetize it, I bet Zappa's family would let me do a show just on Zappa's music.
Probably.
You know, that's how cool they are, man. I don't know. His Barking Pumpkin era is just nothing can beat it. Individually. And I'm talking about, you know, he wrote everything, all the parts. You know, he didn't sing them all, but, you know, he did sing a lot of stuff. He's got that good bass, you know.
Yeah. He's got a super multi-talented kind of person. He had quite a few of those in the 60s going into the 70s. And throughout the 70s, he had a lot of people that would put, you know, shit, I lost train of thought. Yeah, that's right. So yeah, Blue Oyster Cult was also a band.
Yeah. I
fucking loved the Blue Oyster Cult when I was young.
Yeah, don't fear the Reaper, man.
You know what
I liked what was it called? There was Godzilla, which was good, but Telepaths on Fire, I'm thinking.
Telepaths on Fire. That's enough. Pause.
Cities in Flame. I've got that on my soundboard because Big Fat Brian and your boy Pat and I just looked at the anime version of that of Godzilla, the Netflix reboot.
Yeah, I saw that. I was watching y'all.
Yeah, no, I saw you. Yeah, you were in the chat, man. Thanks for coming by.
Oh, no problem. I shared it too, of course. That's just what I do.
Yeah, it was good, man. And the show we did was good. I put it that way. It was fun.
I liked it.
Yeah. Did you see the drawing and shit that
Yeah, with the dog, that was awesome.
That was funny, man.
Right when I looked at that same photo, I was like, it looks like a dog.
It looks like a fucking dog. And it was
the 70s. Is that when we would have got Meatloaf?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. 2 out of 3 at bad.
Okay, yeah. I heard you talking while I was taking a piss. You were talking about people that wrote all their shit and wrote all that. Meatloaf was not one of those.
No, he was a singer.
He was just the. You can't even say he was the pretty face. He was just the voice.
Yeah, and that's the way a lot of those, fucking corporation-driven bands were. Man, they would come in, they'd say, "Here's the song we're doing," and we've got the arrangement taken care of. Just come in, lay down the vocals, and you'll have an album out in a month or two. It's like.
And see, I can't respect a musician like that. Like, I can obviously respect the fact that they have talent and all that, but if they're not writing their own shit, I don't look at them as musicians so much as just a voice or something like that, right?
Yeah,
random. You go ahead. Sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was gonna say, random question: was Cat Stevens 70s?
Yeah.
That "Morning Is Broken" song has it's like imprinted into my brain, and I also think, if I'm not mistaken, Cat Stevens is on the no-fly list.
Yeah, he's a fucking Muslim now.
Mm-hmm.
He converted back when it wasn't cool.
Right. Also, the Ramones formed in 1974.
Yeah.
I didn't know they formed so early. Actually.
Yeah, they were big fans of Iggy Pop and Iggy and the Stooges. Man, that was Dee Dee Ramone said that the Stooges were the driving force behind that band, and they were big fans of the Beach Boys. And if you if you listen to their music, it's fucking Beach Boys music on speed. I mean,
yeah,
I
exactly.
love that. There's no stopping the Cretans from hopping.
I like their cover of the Spider-Man theme too.
Oh, what about everybody's about the bird?
Irate.
What?
You're not allowed singing on this string.
I actually used to sing that song.
Oh shit! This is the music show. I should probably make exceptions on this one, shouldn't I?
Yeah, there you go. Yep.
Yeah. What were we singing earlier? We were singing something earlier.
All of a sudden. Oh God, my brain.
Well, I mean, I really think Irate Prostate has the voice to sing "Fox on the Run." And maybe if you could close out the show that way.
How about if I close out with some Motorhead, man? I can do that. I can do Lemmy.
There we go.
Yeah.
Close it out with Ace of Spades. I don't know if that was in the 70s, but
Ace of Spades is one of my favorites of theirs.
Ace of Spades the album was cut in '79, and it wasn't released until I think it was March of '80. So technically, it's a '70s album. Their studio shit, a lot of their studio shit with Fast Eddie, came out in the '70s. So yeah, he was with Hawkwind before that. Go ahead.
Well, and I told Irate this. The whole Ace of Spades song, like, that's kind of how I got my name. I took a play off of that, where it's Ace of Skulls instead of Ace of Spades.
Yeah.
At the end of the show, I want to hear a duet between Irate Prostate and Ace of Skulls doing Ace of Spades.
We'll do the bridge from it. You know I'm born to lose. How about that?
Yeah. All the words Ace.
Gambling for fools.
I cannot guarantee that because, like I said, my family is circling around me.
Man, it ain't got no fucking curse words in it, Ace.
It doesn't. It actually doesn't.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't think any of the songs on Ace of Spades has a curse word in it.
Well, worst case scenario, Ace, we hear your family laughing in the background.
Yeah.
We'll
see. Another one of my favorite recording artists from the 70s is Jim Croce.
Yeah.
I love Jim Croce's music.
Yeah. Good. Dude, have you ever heard of John Prine?
Probably.
Yeah.
But not off the top of my head.
There's a hole in Daddy's arm where all the money goes. And Jesus died for something, or I suppose. Yeah. Mm-hmm. It's Vietnam vets and shit.
Now I gotta ask you a question though, Irate Prostate.
Yes, sir.
Who would win in an arm wrestling competition? God or Lemmy?
Airheads.
Trick
God.
question.
I mean, Lemmy, because Lemmy is proven to have existed. So,
Motherfucker, the answer is Lemmy, because Lemmy is God.
You got the answer
well,
right.
Then there you got that. I
But that's
met
from-
God then.
I remember that being from Airheads.
Yes, it is.
Such a
So-
good movie. I
Didn't
love
see
that.
that. I think Airheads is actually on Netflix now.
Is it really?
I think so. Pretty sure I saw it on there. Not watched it, but I saw the option to.
Man,
Seen it
I
quite a
gotta
few
watch
times.
that movie again. Usually I can't stand Adam Sandler, but
He's great in it.
he was
He
good
was
in
a
that.
background character mostly. That's what made it better.
Oh, and a big,
I
Exactly.
ain't farting on no snare drum.
a big thing in the 70s was also Southern rock.
Yes.
Right.
Mhm.
Charlie Daniels, Outlaws, Leonard Skinner,
Eagles.
Molly Hatchet, Eagles. Yeah, they called that LA country. Fucking Fleetwood Mac with Buckingham Nicks.
Man.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Oh, also Jefferson Airplane. That was another one that I used to hear a lot.
They were
My
Starship
stepdad was
in the 70s. Yeah.
Starship.
I liked Airplane a lot better than I liked Starship.
Oh,
Starship,
God, yeah.
Jefferson
Love
Starship.
Fucking
Jefferson
Grace
Airplane.
Slick.
Gary Slicks.
Before she got old and disgusting.
That bitch was gorgeous.
I think it was Grace Slick or
I
No,
Rusty,
maybe not
do
Grace
yourself a favor and don't look up what she looks like right now.
Yeah, I've seen it.
Trippy, do everybody else a non-favor and please pull up a picture of what Grace Slick currently looks like.
okay. Well, shit, might as well.
Yeah.
Grace Slick today.
Do you want somebody to love? You know,
Oh.
women on
Right?
on.
Is
Get
this
up,
is-
tell you where to go.
I could probably do one where she's showing her teeth if this is a large enough photo.
Oh
it's
yes,
fine.
Where is it?
you definitely want to pull up one with the teeth.
Hey, I'm trying to find a good one here.
She is
This is-
not quite as attractive as she used to be.
She kind of looks like Roseanne a little bit. A little bit.
Roseanne
go.
with less hair and teeth.
Got it.
There you go.
There you go, sir. Well, you know, you'd still stick a pinky in there to see what it smells like.
That's the fucking chick from Jefferson Airplane.
Dude, back in the day, though, she was fucking just fine as fuck. Smart and sexy and fucking had a set of tits on her. Shit.
She just
Oh,
looks like
she
she's saying,
used to be
She was a
fucking
model.
hot.
Hey, Michael, she was a fucking model.
Oh,
my
dude, do the yeah.
God, the side by side.
Look at that.
There you go. It's a little bit better.
She got cancer, man.
I don't think so.
Remember
Jesus
that,
fucking
any of you
Christ.
people who are young like me, there's a
And you're
good
doing
chance
drugs.
that your attractive wife might become that.
That's where you're headed, people. Just
What are
saying.
you gonna become though? You know?
Oh,
That's what it looks
I'm gonna grow up to look exactly like you, Trippy.
Yeah, well, that's 5
What's
years
that old
off.
saying? I get older, they stay the same.
Eat my shorts.
All right.
Okay.
Oh, wait, shit, right in the middle there, above, above the yeah, that one.
Thought it was Bill Clinton.
Look at that shit. She used to be hot.
Yeah.
Well, didn't
You
they
should
all?
look at her modeling shit, man. I'm telling you, she was a model
All
before
right.
she was in the band. Hold on a sec. Grace Slick.
Trippy, stop presenting before you look that up. In the 70s,
I have
lots of
my-
people were
Get
nude.
a safe search on.
It is.
That
Yeah.
don't mean shit.
Too late. I hit enter.
Slick model.
Blame it on me. Okay. Well, it's tame.
No, it seems pretty tame. Yeah, see, she was hot, and she became very, very not.
Is that larger? That is not larger.
A lot of that's drugs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, here's a great picture of her.
There, you
Oh,
do
dude.
it then. Screen share for Schmeckle, so he can see your nipples and then yell at you. No, I'm just kidding.
Come on.
Man, if they're male nipples, I can get away with it.
One of them, she's got her tits pulled out. Jesus.
See, I told
knew it was
you.
gonna
I
happen, and
told
so did
you.
Schmel.
Dude, you really want to see that one too.
Okay, yeah. Don't pull it up, but
No,
yeah.
you want to need to find that one on your own. But yeah, okay. Almost.
No, motherfucker. You just send me the link.
I got
Pickle's like, oh.
Yeah,
I told you, Grace Slick was fucking hot when she was young. If you got titties for me, I'm gonna check those out. We got $2 from Ragnarok Ulfbert saying the power of feminism, and yeah, that's what it was back then, man.
Yeah,
feminism is a lot. First off, fighting for a legitimate goal, but also a lot more laid back and fun.
Bra burning.
These pictures are just incredible.
Feminism back then not only was fighting for something real, but they gave people a reason to want to be like them.
Mm-hmm. Trippy used to burn his bras back then too.
She was fierce, man.
Man, back then Trippy was still thin.
Yeah, because it was a semen.
Oh
Maybe.
shit, you were real thin.
Dude, I was born in 1987.
So
That's
Quite a while before my
that's
time.
basically the early 70s.
That's
We
true.
got around Trippy, and in a really weird way, I guess.
I could probably be all of y'all's dad.
Round,
I
round,
rate
round, round.
Prostate. I have a feeling was born 68.
Yeah, close.
64.
Up or down? Down. 64.
What do you think?
I'm guessing 64 is what I said.
Shit,
Or what I meant.
you're actually older than my father.
Here's a good one, a Grace Lick for you there, Schmegel. She's giving you her finger. You use it.
Man, you know what? Grace Slick, before she got gross, and actually maybe now, was one of the few ladies I would let put a finger up my bumhole.
It's the middle one.
Oh, that's the longest one. And you know what? For Grace Slick, I'd allow it. Back then, maybe now.
Man, people had some serious bangs in the 70s.
All right, present me, and I'll pop up.
Better not be your penis.
No, it'll be mine.
The screen's not big enough.
Whoa. Okay. Oh,
I'm into this.
looks like one of us Austin Powers girls.
Man, don't just. Oh, okay, you're not hitting the next.
She's like real tits, man. Real, surgically altered. Just a great pair of real tits, man.
Yeah, but at this point, she had like a dyke haircut, so I don't know if I could still do it.
That was like probably about 70, I would say 77-ish, 75, 76 maybe.
Mm-hmm.
She had the dyke haircut, and it looks like her teeth were already studied.
Yeah, getting skeezy on the teeth, though. But look at that, man.
No,
That's
yeah.
just some fine shit there, man.
He was extremely attractive. She was like one of the best looking ladies from back then.
Yep.
I mean, you got a bunch of people who are in love with the fucking Runaways and shit like that.
They were great, man. That first album is interesting.
I gotta say, what's her name?
Cherry Curry?
No, I can't. Why can't I remember her name?
Joan Jett.
No, the blonde.
Lita Ford.
Lita Ford. I knew it was something Ford. She's still attractive today. I would still, without a doubt, fuck Lita Ford.
Yeah.
Somebody please pull up a modern day picture of Lita Ford.
The bass player was the hottest.
No. All of them were just all right. Joan Jett had a little bit where she was good before she.
Yeah, she was a les though. I mean, you could tell. I knew she was gay.
But fucking Lita Ford. Lita Ford has always been hot. I mean, not always. I'm sure as a child she was childlike. But since she's been in the fucking public eye, Lita Ford has been fucking sex goddess. Like,
very
Pickles got it.
We got Pickle pulling it up. Wait, this is her like a couple years ago.
Fuck yeah, she looks great.
I would still stick it to
She's probably close to my age.
That's actually the picture I was thinking of, Pickle.
Big
See if
hair.
you can find a bigger version of that picture. That's from I think 2012, 6 years ago.
Yeah. She loves them BC Rich though.
I'm fucking arm. She'd beat me in an arm wrestle. I can tell. Just like most women.
No, Lita Ford stayed hot.
Whoa.
Yeah.
Oh, obviously she's showing her age a bit, but oh god damn, like she's probably number 3. Actually, I guess number 2 now since Laura Bush is dead. Barbara Bush. Yeah, she's probably right under Betty White as far as old chicks go.
Pickle, pick one where her hands are in plain view. Like close up on her hands. Maybe the one up.
The veins?
No. Her fingers, man, like her pointer finger on her one hand is like kind of odd. It's a
Man, sometimes people break fingers.
She was married to Tony Iommi. For
I'll show you what I mean.
Oh man, so no matter how fucked up her fingers were, they were still better than his.
Yeah.
Probably.
Because he had those little stumps.
Oh shit. Oh, was he the one that had to use I think he said he melted down.
He had the little prosthetic fingertips.
Yeah. And
This
that's
one.
why Black Sabbath
whoa.
was down.
Here's a great band, Uriah Heep. I forgot all about them.
I've actually never heard them. I've heard a lot about them, but never bothered to look them up.
Oh god, that
heavy
is stumpy.
That's what I'm talking about. This picture right here, it looks kind of odd. Like I don't know if something got cut off. But it's like a Flintstone finger.
Oh god.
It's like
what the fuck?
Her index finger?
Yeah.
Yeah. It looks like
I would like to retract my former statements about
you know what?
Ford.
She's had the tip of it cut off.
Hey, it looks like she had the Tony Iommi treatment.
No, that's on her pick hand.
Mm-hmm.
So
it looks like she's also been punching the shit out of somebody with that knuckle.
Yeah, no shit.
Fuck.
Dude, man, them bitches fought. They were street. They were off the street. Yeah.
That was a close up of this picture.
Fat
Looks better
Terry
than this.
Curry 1,000 times.
Anyway, we're a little over the hour point. Ace, are you yes, Trippy, stop ruining my illusions of Lita Ford. Ace, are you here?
Okay.
Yeah, what's up?
I think we should transition to this Roger Waters Pink Floyd Trump thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I just found 3 articles and sent them to you guys because we were fucking still in the car doing stupid fucking driving bullshit. So it's like, all right, here are your options, motherfuckers. You choose. So I read a little bit of the article. Did anybody else read some?
I have it pulled up. That's all I can be asked to do today.
Where is this?
I read parts of it, but I've become very intoxicated since reading
put it in the
parts of it.
side chat for you, right? In the hangout, yeah.
Good lad.
Yeah, from what I understand, essentially, Roger Waters was doing a performance. He was doing some Pink Floyd hits.
I can just read some of it if you want, man.
Well, you know what, Trippy, you do that then.
Halfway through a note faithful performance of Pink Floyd's 17-minute Dogs, Roger Waters and his band took a wine break. They put a grotesque swine mask on Waters,
resembling one of the guys from Slipknot.
Yeah, looked like
it's an unnecessary. It's an unnecessary detail, but
gathered around a table and went about their pigly business until the singer-songwriter lifted up a giant sign that read, "Pigs rule the world." There was a moderate rumble among the dozens of thousands of fans. That is a weird way to say that. Then he held up another
of thousands.
Well, that's one of the lyrics. One of the lyrics of the song "Pigs." on the Animals album is "Hey You White House," "Ha Ha Charade You Are," or "Charade." Yeah, so yeah, that was about Jimmy Carter back then. So, or that's who was in the White House when he published the song.
Oh yeah, and I mean it would have just stayed as the basic statement against the establishment that it was, but from what I understand, there was some shit very specific to Trump.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah, I think we're getting there.
No, I'm not saying I'm angry about it. It's just
it's worded funny.
It's a funny story, regardless of who you agree with.
You know what I think? I think that all these famous people see him as an interloper because he was a private citizen who got famous on his own terms, and then he fucking got elected on top of that. You know, I don't know. I think that Hollywood can't stand him just because, you know, he stole their dream from him.
Yeah. It says for more than a year, Waters has been on less of a rock tour and more of a campaign for civility and humanity. He dubbed them Run US Plus Them after his former band's song about divisiveness. But the theme of tonight's show was about unity through resistance. Water and his band spent around 2.5 hours, including a 20-minute opinion-filled intermission, skewering Donald Trump, highlighting recent injustices around the world, and proselytizing people who came together on a soundtrack of Pink Floyd classics and songs from his solo career. So they just fucking broke down for 2.5 hours and talk shit about Donald Trump and made fun of people who did a soundtrack of Pink Floyd classics. What? He's just trying to throw his fame away, huh?
He's just a weak ass piece of. He's a talented man. He's just a pissed off old fuck.
Right.
No, that's all it is, man.
This article's getting weird, Schmeckle.
It's Rolling Stone, dude. What do you expect?
That's the whole point, I think. It says
the thing is, Roger Waters is a pissed off old man.
Yeah, you can tell.
But he's a pissed off old man with an audience,
with a platform, right?
And I like the fact that he at least made his criticisms entertaining.
Right.
I mean, I don't agree or disagree with his fucking statements here. As far as Trump being one of the pigs, yeah, he is one of the pigs spoken about in the original song. At the same time, Roger Waters is clearly just grasping something that'll get him attention at this point.
So out of that, well, all right, here's a question for everybody. All right, because there was the 4 albums that Metal, Dark Side, Wish You Were Here, and Animals. What are your favorite albums of those 4?
Say those 4 again. I heard Animals, Dark Side,
Metal, and Wish You Were Here.
Animals would be the top, then Dark Side, then Wish You Were Here, then Metal.
Jesus, you got mine straight down.
Same. I don't know.
Animals is just a brilliant album.
Oh, it was ridiculously good.
Yeah.
Fucking best song on the album. What was it?
You gonna say Brick in the Wall?
Run Like Hell. No, that's on the wall. It would be actually Dogs, man.
I would say Sheep.
Sheep, yeah. That's all of them are so good. All 3 of those songs are just incredible.
How about you, Pickle? I know you got an opinion, and probably Ace as well, because I really don't, because I don't have the records.
Well, Uh, two of those albums I'm not particularly all that familiar with, but Wish You Were Here and Dark Side I know quite well.
Mm-hmm.
Animals was by far their best album, man. Very short, but worth it.
Yeah, I've heard it. I just haven't heard a lot of it.
Man, there's not a whole lot of it to hear.
Okay, jeez.
I mean, I've only heard it like once. Okay.
Oh, okay. You haven't heard it frequently. Got you.
But the whole album is
Me
what,
neither.
like 37 minutes long?
Yeah, something like that. It's just the three songs, I think.
Well, yeah, and there's Pigs on a Wing, which they break up.
Oh, yeah.
And the 8-track had a guitar solo, and that's why they made the 8-track.
Like I said, I've never
8-track for the win.
listened to an 8-track.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well,
he's
see
never,
that. Well, yeah, they put that lead on there so that they would sell the 8-track and the album. You'd have to buy both of them to get. Yep. So
Oh,
It's a
okay.
good for back then. I mean, you can't really do that too much now because people can just buy whatever tracks they like.
exactly.
But it says here the gargantuan crowd, which consisted mostly of Brits with occasional European tourists calling out their native tongues, cheered Waters' emasculation of the U.S. head of state and, with a few exceptions, cheered a brief speech in which the singer voiced his support of Palestine. Giant screens about the size of half of a football field showed drone warfare footage. The story of the recently deceased Palestinian nurse Razan al enduring pigs, imagery of Donald Trump vomiting, driving a child's wagon, wearing makeup, revealing a micropenis, and wearing a KKK mask at every turn. The crowd was wrapped, but that was to be expected.
No, I'm sorry. The whole Palestine thing.
The fuck is a KKK mask?
Yeah,
I
probably
know
a
about the
better
hood.
angle to go. I don't want to go into the Palestine thing on the music show.
I know about the
I think they
hood.
were meaning a hood.
Yeah, I
But-
wouldn't really call that a mask, but okay.
All right, I will make a quick statement.
Yeah.
Palestine belongs to the Muslims, then America belongs to the Indians. Or sorry, natives. If we're gonna go, hey, they took this place from this people, so the guys who had it beforehand deserve it. Then we got to do that with every place that was ever taken by anybody ever.
I agree.
And the
Yeah.
question is, how far do you go back and when do you stop?
I don't want to dig into the whole.
Ah,
I made my statement. You make yours.
Racist.
Well, we're just not going to make it a whole conversation. But Ace, you say your bit.
You get it out, man.
oh no, I really got nothing. I'm just in here chilling, kind of listening to you guys try and get
Ace
shit
is a
done.
supporter of Palestine and all of the Muslims. He loves every one of
Man,
them.
I look at it this way: like, that's not my
I'm fucking
fight.
with you.
That's not my fucking issue.
Exactly.
Nope. I don't
think that's what
want to
Schmeckle
make
said.
a statement on it because, like, you know what?
Who cares?
I personally fucking feel at this point like we should all do our own shit. Worry about our own fucking shit first, and then we
Probably
can
be
all
more
be like,
peace
"Hey,
if we did that.
yeah, you want to hang out?"
Yeah, well, let's
we
fuck
are
with other people,
safe
with other
in
countries and shit like that after we
his
handle our own shit.
peace of
I do
chance.
have to address something. Naneka in the chat says, the cunt stream is trying not to offend me, isn't he? No, Naneka,
Yep.
you dumb, stupid, ugly, ugly, probably diabetic cunt.
Okay.
I am not trying not to offend you. Don't ever accuse me of that. Also, you have glasses, 4 eyes.
That's it's not her you're talking about anymore, but all right. That's okay. Schmeckle will go blind before I do.
Man, probably. Do you know how much I jack off?
And drink.
That's not even the reason. You be careful, Schmeckle. My stepdad lost a tooth from drinking too much.
Mm.
Man, I've heard that
More
can
than
happen.
one tooth.
I lost a set of hips to do
Nice.
too much. Yeah.
It sounds like you lost
If
weight.
I ever start losing teeth, I swear to God, I'm getting them all knocked the fuck out, and I'm getting dentures.
Or get the
No, I'm not sitting there fucking gap toothed, or the fucking dented. They can put teeth in permanently, right?
yeah.
Yeah, they
No,
can,
I'll get that shit done.
called
If I lose a tooth, I'm getting it fucking replaced. I ain't sitting there gap toothed.
yeah, they drill they basically put a little metal screw-in spot into your gums.
I'm not a
then-
huge fan of that idea, but I like it better than having gaps in my.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's like the back teeth where nobody sees it, fuck it.
True.
But
front
if it's
teeth, I
up
get you.
front, then.
Oh, dude, his was one of
no.
the, you know what the eye teeth is what a lot of people call them. It was one of
Oh,
those.
well, wait 1 second. Naneka's saying, now don't make me come in there. Naneka, you want to come in here? You want to start some fucking beef about whatever it is you said that got me mad? Then we'll
Something.
do it.
She said that you were trying not to offend her.
Oh, yeah. What a dumb. I'm really lacking for adjectives tonight.
Skank, whore.
But what a terrible, disgusting example of a pathetic human being that she would accuse me of that.
Yep.
I hope she gets run over by a rape.
Hamburger. Oh, a rape?
Yeah, I hope she's walking in the street and a truck hits her and she flies into a rapist and he's like, hey, I guess this works.
And then the rapist is like, not today. I'm tired, baby. I have a headache.
Yeah, and then the rapist looks her in the eye and he don't quite say the words. He's very polite about it, but what he means is, I don't want to rape you.
Oh, she said, I hope you get fucked by a fat feminist.
I hope you get fucked by, I don't know, Samaj, Pickle.
With a fat feminist?
Irate. Which one's more offensive?
What's the choice again?
Are you waiting for her to pick?
The three of you that aren't Ace, because I've seen what he looks like, and he's a beautiful man.
Oh, I look like a fucking. I got hit by a train, and then somebody set my face on fire and put it out with a rake.
I kind of
Actually,
just
if
assume
you-
you look exactly like your avatar.
One of them. This is irate.
The one that's the penguin.
I mean, if you really want to get under the neck of skin, just tell her you're going to send Pinoid over there to get her pregnant.
Mm-hmm.
Naneka, I would never do that to you. Pinoid is too good for you.
You know,
I'm
there
gonna
is a
send
part of me.
Drippy over there to get you pregnant.
I'm gonna put a baby in something young right now.
Can I get her butthole pregnant?
No,
Try
You
for that. I'm going to try
And
for it.
I'm gonna snip Trippy's foreskin off before he does it.
I don't have one of those, but okay.
Oh man, then you're gonna be missing something you like.
I lost it in the war.
motherfuckers.
I lost it in the war, Schmickle. I
Oh
lost
man,
my
it's already
foreskin
all gone.
war. The foreskin war of 08, man.
It was blown off by the fucking. Which war were you in?
I said the foreskin war of 08.
Oh, the foreskin war. The feminist blew his fucking foreskin off. Please
and not in the
donate
fun
money. Please donate money to the Cunt Stream. It won't go towards repairing Trippy's foreskin or getting him therapy or anything like that, but I'll rub it in, and then he'll feel bad about having no foreskin and the fact that I profited off of it.
4 people told me yesterday that Schmickle should pay you, Trippy, because you saved the show yesterday.
What was the show yesterday?
Well, when I came in, it was Harlequin and Parsnip being
Oh
told
yes,
by...
yes, the shitty not safe for Wednesdays. I haven't said this to them yet, so I probably shouldn't say it live. But if they don't do good next week, we're placing that show.
Well, Harley and Parsnip were told to have internet couple sex over while streaming, and then it got awkward.
Oh, they shouldn't have gotten awkward. I mean, they also shouldn't have done it. but they shouldn't have gotten
They
awkward.
didn't do it. That's what was so awkward about it. Is like they were like,
Oh,
no,
no,
we
I
don't
mean-
want that, and
Well,
then
I mean, they couldn't have done it. That would have got the channel
Well,
taken down.
yeah, well, not like showing nudity or anything. I don't know what the hell they were being asked to actually do, or what anybody expected.
I
But I
was
guess-
in and out of that one.
They were pretty much doing it before they were asked to do it anyway. You know, like, oh baby, and all that kind of bullshit that you hear out of people, like just talking really sweet to each other every time they addressed each other, and it was giving me a reverse boner. I had a vagina.
Oh
So-
no, I just some people can't be sexy.
Then I jumped in, and your viewership went from 14 straight to 19, and then by the end we had 29 viewers. So money.
Well, no money.
Gimme.
No money was brought in.
Gimme.
Man.
No, I will be sent. You did make some money last month for the streams you were in. I'll be sending that out soon. I'm very, very behind on shit right now.
Don't worry about it. I'll remind your fat ass. No, you don't have a fat ass. Snipple does have childbearing hips, though.
Man, you better know I got some fucking hips.
I don't know. I've never seen you from the waist down. I'm pretty sure you're paraplegic.
Yeah, I actually can't stand.
Hey,
Oh, okay.
Trippy, were you trying to say that your milkshake brings all the boys to the yard to Schmeck?
No.
Because that's what I kind of heard. Like,
Yeah, that's what I heard too.
No. What the hell was the milkshake anyway? Was it her tits or her ass? I guess that's a topic for when we hit the 2000s.
Okay. Well, think about what she says. Milkshake.
Pretty sure it's ass.
Jiggle. Titty jiggle.
Titties.
It's ass for sure. Ass milk.
Trippy,
Yes.
why the fuck do you shit milk? I know it's bad that mine comes out red, but if yours is coming out white, I think you're in a worse place than I am.
goddamn diabetes.
Ace, please tell
It's
your
just
woman
pure
that
sugar.
she's just giving me a complete hard on.
That's just-
Yeah, she's sitting there. She's oh yeah, well your mother-in-law even better. Your mother-in-law, if she's sitting there, she's making me hot as a motherfucker. Hey, is she single? You got a father-in-law, Ace?
I have a father-in-law, you dipshit. That would imply the whole.
Does it maybe seem like he may kick the bucket sometime soon? 'Cause
No, he is a psychotic man, and he is.
oh, if he's psychotic, that means
No,
maybe
like-
he might be
No, not
susceptible
like
to a
that.
fucking heart attack.
Not like
Oh,
mentally psychotic, but like
Say,
one of those
hey,
like. All right, never mind.
Oh, so you're
just fucking with you.
you're saying he'll fight me if I fuck your mother-in-law.
He'll fight just about anybody.
How big is he?
I ain't fucking go into specifics. Fuck off.
Is he bigger or smaller than you? Motherfucker don't want to answer. He knows I could beat up his father-in-law. I'm gonna be your new father-in-law, Ace. You can call me stepdaddy-in-law. Kiss you on your forehead every time we
You
run
should
into
have.
each other. It'll be awkward. Be
all
really
you gotta do
awkward.
is put your fucking hat on the dude's head and then hit the top of it, and you won't be able to see.
No. See, here's the thing. I don't give a fuck if you're a goddamn telepathic gorilla. I'd still fuck your ass up. It's just
No.
a family thing.
I'm not gonna be fighting you, Ace. I'm gonna fight your stepdaddy. Or sorry, not your stepdaddy. Your father-in-law.
Father-in-law.
And I'm gonna become your stepdaddy-in-law.
Yeah, no. Good luck with that. I wish. You the
Yeah.
best. And,
You didn't
let
tell me
me
how
know
big
when
he
you
was. Is he huge?
why does this even matter?
Is he like 8 feet tall, made of muscle? Is he like 4 feet tall, made of skin and bone?
All right, obviously. This
Hey,
is
This
yeah,
has evolved
hey,
into something sad.
Ace, I did not mean to make you uncomfortable. I'm very sorry, baby.
No, it's not even making me uncomfortable. I'm just confused what the fuck this has to do with that, but anything to do with fucking music.
Oh,
Yeah, I was gonna say,
I was
you
gonna
didn't
make your
cover-
mommy sing for me.
mommy-in-law.
Mommy-in-law. Yeah.
He did some
Also
really
your
good
regular
drugs.
mother.
Ace. Apparently, Schmeckle did some really good drugs
Yeah,
not that long
I'm
ago.
sorry. My neighbors gave me.
So yeah,
There's nothing to be sorry
there's
for.
that.
Did you get dusted?
I'm used to fucking hey, it's fucking schmackle. This is normal. This is normal behavior with or without drugs.
Yeah, no, this is
Well,
fairly
without
normal. Just
drugs.
I'm enjoying it a lot more than usual.
I don't know if Schmeckle's ever done angel dust. All right.
No,
Oh, yeah.
Angel Dust is one of the ones on the list that I have never touched.
Phencyclidine is what that's called.
It's not something I wouldn't touch. There are only, as far as I can think of, 3 drugs on that list. But
I wouldn't recommend it. Or ketamine.
I've done ketamine. I did that actually when I was in college. There was a guy who did ketamine like I smoke weed. I mean, yeah, after every fucking hour or so, he'd go out for a fucking bump of ketamine, and I figured if he's doing this, it can't be that hardcore.
Yeah.
So he offers me
disassociated.
he offers me first just a little bump, like a little fucking dot. So I snort it, and it kicks in a little, and it seems like, all right, this ain't so bad. I was like, cut me a proper line, like the shit you do. So I took that line, and I was still feeling pretty all right, and we go back to class. And then about 10 minutes into class, I turn to the chick who sits next to me, and I say, hey, you need to do me a favor. If I start to lean forward, push my shoulders back, and if it seems like I might piss myself, tell me to go to the bathroom. and she looks at me and she's like, what'd you say? So I repeat it, enunciating very carefully, and she understands it. And then about 10 minutes into class, she's like, or about 10 minutes after that, she's like, all right, I don't know if you're going to piss yourself or not, but you've leaned forward like 4 times. Go to the bathroom. At the very least, you're going to pass out. So I stand up after, signaling the teacher and saying, hey, I'm going to take a piss. I was near the middle of the class. I walk what I thought was casually towards the wall, and then out the path that leads to the door. I later found out that I had grabbed onto every desk on the way and then hand walked my way across. Walk to the bathroom. I don't know how the walk to the bathroom worked because there were no witnesses, but got to the bathroom, sat on a toilet, went to sleep, and woke up after the place was closed. Fortunately, the elevator still worked. I ended up passing out for, like, to be fair, it wasn't a long amount of time. It was like 3-4 hours or something like that. But yeah, I woke up and the place had been shut down.
Well, that was a story about drug use, and
Yeah, the moral of that story is if you're gonna do ketamine, don't do large amounts of ketamine. Like take, I probably would have been fine if I had stopped at that first small little dot that he had given me.
Yeah,
right.
Because he was he was the guy who knew how ketamine worked, and I was the guy who didn't.
Right.
I probably would have had a nice fun high if it had just been that. And to be fair, my high was fun.
Mm-hmm.
I've heard that ketamine is actually on the it can cause you to be disassociated more easily than a lot of other drugs.
Yep, makes you feel like you're
Permanently.
floating outside of your body.
I
Permanently.
didn't get anything like that.
Mhm.
I got sloppy and dumb, and it was hard to think and speak and shit like that. There was nothing disassociative or anything like that.
Did not have
Okay.
fun. I had to go to the hospital.
Jesus.
Yeah.
For-
Yeah, I took a lot. I had like a little bottle, like the injectable from the somebody had stolen from a vet. And so my genius ass, this is when I was like 19, put it in a bottle.
One second, Irate, before you go on, I would like to clarify to the audience, this is on topic because we're talking about the 70s.
Yeah, and look, I don't recommend, if you do this, you're a fucking idiot, okay? And I did this, and this classifies me at the time as a fucking idiot. So I put it in a bowl, and I nuked it in the microwave until it was crystals, right?
Oh.
Yeah, and I took about half of it.
Oh.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah, I had to go to the hospital.
What he's talking about is he made himself the crack of ketamine.
Basically, yeah. And it fucked me up for a long. No, I didn't smoke it. I took it. I just ingested it.
I don't know how that would go. I've only ever seen people smoke this shit.
It fucked me up. It was like a fucking 5-hour panic attack.
Yeah,
It was not fun.
First off, don't do hard drugs, I guess I should say, before all of this.
Yeah,
but if you're going to do hard drugs, don't cook those hard drugs. Don't bring them down to their pure form. And if you're going to do that pure form, don't. Also just don't. But don't.
I feel like this should have been
Don't
at the beginning of these stories.
That's fine.
I've said
That's
don't
true,
many
though.
times, Ace. But don't.
Oh no, but I'm just saying. I think this disclaimer should have probably been at the forefront of some of these stories.
No, I'm sorry. We did this way. You get something like pot, and you swallow that shit just by itself. It ain't gonna do anything for you. It ain't gonna do as much as smoking. It ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
You take something like crack or any drug cooked up the same fucking way. So that you bring it down to its basic drug parts. Smoking, it's gonna be bad enough. Don't fucking swallow that shit.
Yeah, no shit.
At that point, you're poisoning yourself. I mean, at any point, you're poisoning yourself. But at that point, you're just poisoning yourself. It's stupid. Don't do it.
Agreed.
You're all adults. Regnock Ulfberts for $5 says, take them all and try to call 911 before you hit the floor. LOL. Regnock, we do not advocate for that here, but if you want to donate enough money, I'll do it.
Hey, it's about time Irate gets a wrench now.
Do you still not have a wrench?
You gotta type in that chat out. Right?
Wait, I forgot. Irate and I have
We're beefing.
beef.
Real fake beef.
That's
Like,
sexual.
we got mad fucking issues. Irate here came to me. He was like, man, I want to smooth out our issues.
Dude, we need a man.
And I looked him in the eye.
The blood loss.
I looked him in the eye. And I was like, man, there's no way we're going to smooth this shit over. Then I spit at him. But it only hit my laptop screen. It was actually a negative for me. But no, Irate, well, in all honesty, I had no fucking idea what the beef between us was.
It was mostly my side. I was an asshole.
I wasn't even aware. I wasn't even aware of you being an asshole. Like,
no, I was butthurt being streamed against on Fridays. It was like, that was my slot, man. Blah blah blah. No, I had a shitty attitude. You know?
No, man. It was nothing against you. I mean, we.
I know, dude.
Well, we went to 7 days. I mean, it.
Yeah.
It meant one of those days would be Friday.
I know. We're good. No, I had some negative feelings, and then had been in a couple other things where I perceived your attitude towards me as being negative, and everybody told me it was just you, and I was like, okay. And so once I internalized that, that's when I wrote you that letter.
Okay, yeah. See, I was actually unaware that we had beef. Because
I'm an old fuck.
If I had ever dug at you before that, it was just what I do. Yeah, we had no particular issue. I was just really confused when you were like, "Hey, man, I want to sell this beef." Like, what type of shit were you saying about me, man?
I wouldn't say anything. I just said, it would have been nice if you had to come by and, talk to me about that before the decision was made, No,
and actually, you are not the first person to make that complaint.
No, that's all. That's all it was. We don't.
While I will maintain, I don't know anybody shit as far as that goes.
Mm-hmm.
It is the type of thing that with a couple streams that I did respect, I should have reached out and told them, hey, we're going to be overlapping, To be honest, I wasn't overly aware of the cream stream. So you probably wouldn't have been on that list anyway. Yeah. But I get where you're coming from, because it's not the first time that complaint has been made. All right, we got another $5 from Ragnarok saying, take them all and try to call 911 before you hit the floor. LOL. Ragnarok, it's going to take more than a couple donations to get me to take all these drugs. You're going to need to hit the big bucks. First off, you're going to need to fund the purchase of all these drugs. And then you're gonna need to convince me to do what's probably suicide.
Well, not necessarily. It depends on
at this point.
You got
at this point, enough money, Ragnarok. You gotta put my kid through college.
And while we're at it, donate through the Streamlabs so that 30% of that money isn't.
Oh, wait! Shit, that was the same one as before. I did too many drugs. Yeah, that was the same super chat from before.
Wow. Because the chat's kind of inactive. Nobody's really saying very much.
Yeah, I did too many drugs and thought that was.
We quit talking about rock and roll.
Same one. Yeah, man, fucking rock and roll. Irate. Yeah, you're the old motherfucker here. Tell us more about the 70s.
See, I talked about Uriah Heep, which is very important because of the guy named Don Hensley. Well, the way that their approach was they had that very like low frequency oriented approach to hard rock, right? Which was a nice springboard for metal to come out of, right? What was the first real hardcore metal band, and everybody knows it's Black Sabbath, right?
Yeah.
People will say other bands before, but
one second, I gotta point out, Ragnar Wolfbird is I think trying to save my dignity here. He gave another $10. He says, dime bag. Yeah, you're getting closer, but that still ain't gonna make me do the whole drug suicide thing.
Yeah. You gotta buy him an 8-ball of Coke just so he can, drink through it.
The magic number would be $1 trillion.
Are you holding?
I ain't even talking ridiculous numbers like that nobody could ever reach. You put my kid through college, I'll do it up.
All right, so about $150,000. Wait, what is it in Canadian? That's like $3, right?
I think it comes out to $1,450.
So $1,450.
You also got to include one of those little I'll roll the rim things that gets me a free coffee. That's how you can tell I'm not serious about this, because roll up the rim
hasn't happened in years.
Anybody in any other country who's ever thought, hey, the Canadians are always talking about Tim Hortons, I'd like to see one of those, don't bother. They have good Boston creams, and not even good Boston creams, just okay Boston creams. And that's about the only good thing they have. Tim Hortons, I would like to reach out to you for a sponsorship. Just so that I could one day look you in the eye and say, I don't want to be sponsored by you.
We'll just go to an AA meeting.
This is Tim Hortons Addicts THAA. There you go. Tha. You gotta go Tha. Tim Horton Addicts Anonymous.
Nah, it pisses me off a little that as far as our coffee goes, yeah, we're known for always going for our coffee and shit, but we're known for fucking Tim Hortons. We got other shit here. We got
because fucking Canadian people drive through 20 feet of snow to get to Tim Hortons for that coffee.
Yeah, and that is a true fact. And that just makes me hate my countrymen, because it's garbage coffee. It tastes like dirt.
Well, I don't know. Fucking don't drink coffee. What do you guys think?
We got on the fucking Tim Hortons thing. I'm a little pissed off. I'll be right back. I'm gonna go grab a new drink, have a smoke. You know what? Irate prostate, you're in charge.
Thank you. What does that mean?
I don't know. Probably nothing.
Absolutely nothing.
All right.
Oh,
I can deal with that. I can deal with that.
Yeah, so welcome to the cream stream. There you go. Yeah. Man, I'm cold. I've been uncomfortable all day. But anyways. Hey, was the lie down or sit-in protest that John Lennon did, was that in the 70s or was that the early 80s?
That was in the 70s. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Lennon died in 80. I think Lennon died, was shot in December of 80. It was either 80 or 81, but yeah. No, the sleep in, the bed in, or whatever they call it.
Yeah.
Yeah, he and Yoko stayed naked in bed. I think it was probably for like a weekend and a Monday or a Friday, you know, and, you know, they fucked for peace, blah, 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 you know.
Mm-hmm.
What was the old saying? Fucking going to war for peace is like fucking for virginity, or something like that. You know, it's like
that sounds about right.
Yeah. So, yeah, there was a lot of these fucking professors now and shit. That generation getting, you know, is infecting as many of their students as they can with their radical horseshit.
Right.
I'm just saying.
That's why all these college kids now are they just sound like the shit they espouse is just fucking awful. They're just repeating what the professor said. And yeah. It's kind of what was happening in the 70s too, isn't it? To a degree.
Yeah, well, that's what, to be honest, that's what college is. It's that if you don't get it, your whole idea is behind your professor is your professor wants you to imitate them and to do things from their perspective, right? And then if you do that, they will give you a really good grade, and then you can move on.
Right.
Yeah, I mean that's the key to college, people. So if you can kiss ass and suck up, you can not only can you be on YouTube, but you can also pass college.
Oh, so, yeah.
I think he got better luck with YouTube. It's my opinion.
I'd say so too. I never went to college.
I got a degree in fucking fine art, sculpture, and painting. You know, and see what I'm doing with it. Waxing my dick with it, or I did. No, actually, I was.
Blue Collar Canuck says, when the fuck was there supposed to be some referendum to turn the Western world into some Marxist hellhole?
Yeah, that's what I want to know.
Yeah, I think we all want to know that.
They're trying to retcon the United States.
Mm-hmm. Trying to erase the history.
Yep.
Erase the history, cover it up so that it can fucking repeat itself.
Yeah. See, that's what's so goddamn stupid. I was talking to Uzi about this the other day. It's like, okay, I remember because the state that I live in is in the South. All right. And I was in one of the government buildings, you know, from like that was built in the 30s and shit. And I noticed that there were 2 men's rooms were right by each other and 2 women's restrooms were by each other. Right. And then there were 2 water fountains on each side by, you know, and then I realized what was going on. It was like, oh, because I never put it together. And that was in my adulthood. That was in my late, like early 30s, man. I'm like, holy shit. You know, and people want to erase that kind of stuff. You know, and
because these were segregated restrooms, right?
Exactly. And look at what they're doing now. They're trying to segregate colleges because, you know, hey.
Yeah, like that one thing a few years ago, I remember, I forget what college it was, but I guess the black students wanted to have their own separate graduation.
Why?
And everybody was behind it. They were like, yay. For some reason. I don't think anybody really understands it. And I think a lot of it has to do with people not knowing what happened in the past.
Yep.
How did I rate do when he was in charge?
Pretty good.
Beautifully.
Didn't some jackass say people who don't know history are doomed to repeat it?
Yep.
And like that's kind of exactly what you guys were talking about, where like these motherfuckers don't like they know the tip of the iceberg of like all the different periods of history, but like they don't know the in-depth shit of like, you know, the segregation. Like you could see parallels with fucking modern society and whatnot, but like that shit is fucking retarded. Like I don't know.
Yeah, it's stupid. Did Canada exist in the 70s? You don't know.
I think we started in 76.
Oh, okay. That wouldn't be 1776. That's wrong.
No, I think it was 1876, but it's a lot funnier if we spin it as 1976, Trippy.
Oh, yeah, it was 1992 is when Canada came to you.
And actually, now that I think of it, Gonna get copyright struck, you motherfucker. We'll end up like Trippy.
Yeah, that too. What? I wonder if I accidentally flagged my own stream.
You might have. You're one of those types of motherfuckers. If you're popping around, you're flagging every stream, and you're like, "Oh shit! Wait, that was Trippy one."
No, I did have a friend for a while that was telling me that every video he watched, he would flag it, and I'm like, "Why?" He goes, "Because it's funny." I'm like, you know, you can get in legal trouble for that, right?
Only if you DMC it. If it's just a fucking
false
dumb
flag.
thing. I don't think there's any legal harm there.
So
anyway, we're reaching 10 o'clock. We're gonna shut the fuck down. Trippy, do Samaja's thing.
Yeah, because tonight we had Full Metal Pickle, we had Ace of Skulls, we had Irate Prostate, some fucking gorilla, and Trippy Poop. and we talked about things from the 70s and the whole Pink Floyd guitarist. What was that guy's name? The guy, and he did some stupid shit about Trump.
Roger Waters.
Roger Waters.
There you go.
He wasn't here, but if he was,
Roger Waters was not here. I think maybe.
I don't think so.
I think maybe he might one day never watch this.
I don't know. Depends on if we all spam his Twitter with it.
Now, before we shut the fuck down, I would like to point you all toward a GoFundMe that I've just spammed in the chat. One of the family knows the young girl that died in this situation. Basically, there was a house fire. A young girl died. Her grandmother tried to save her and now has a large amount of burns all over her body. If anyone's got some extra fucking cash, throw it their way. I mean, they got to pay for medical bills, funeral costs, a new home. They're in a bad situation. And with that, well, 1 second. We got Pinoid saying, "Yo, who wants to combine forces and roll hard into shit? We're shutting the fuck down, Pinoid. I can join you for about an hour. But yeah, we're gonna shut the fuck down. Clean your cocks, clean your cunts, rinse and repeat. Praise be to the Lord Sniggles, and most importantly, fuck all the people I don't like."